born and raised in Chicago, Illinois my whole life. Moved around to a lot of different areas. I was in the suburbs for the most part of my life, 20 minutes outside of downtown Chicago. And growing up in the States, I loved it. You know, every part of me. And I don't know life outside of the States. So what a lot of people would say is, Evan, you're a coconut. You know, you're brown on the outside, but white on the inside.
All right.
You know, so...
Hey, JJ here on High Street, heading toward 5th Avenue. I'm actually going to Shangri-La Hotel, which is right across 5th Avenue on High Street. I'm going to go see a friend of mine, fellow vlogger. His name is Evan. You probably know him better as the Savvy Expat. He interviewed me about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6 months now, right when I started my YouTube channel, and I'm going to return the favor. I'm going to do an interview with him in the Shangri-La upstairs where we had our interview a few months back. So join me on the journey. Okay, so we're coming up on High Street here. I got a new gimbal, by the way. This is the first time I'm using it, so if things are a little weird looking, it's because of that. But let me know in your comments if my walking is a little more stabilized than normal. I got the 3-axis stabilization, so this is definitely an upgrade from what I've been using in the past. So I can go back and forth, down, up. Kind of feel it's all remote control, and it's Bluetooth too, so I can use my things on my phone with it. So, all right, heading across. Nice day today, a little cloudy. I don't think it's going to rain. We've had some really nice weather here the last few weeks. It's been super pleasant, like down in the 70s, mid 70s in the evening with a nice breeze. So it's been really nice and comfortable being outdoors here. But so this is Shangri-La, or part of it, kind of the back end, I guess. But we can get in over here. Doggy. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. Good morning. All right, so we're in Shangri-La here. So we need to go down the hall, up the stairs, around the corner. Hello, how are you? This is where we're going, High Street Lounge. So let's go in and say hi to Evan, the Savvy Expat. I'm with my friend Evan, better known as the Savvy Expat on YouTube, and it's good to see you, man.
Pleasure to be on.
Good to see you again.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yes.
But I'm wanting to return the favor and give a little interview to you on my channel. So let's kind of get into this. You've been here in BGC how long now?
For going on 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so last time we talked, we had a fantastic interview on my channel, probably still to this day my favorite interview. And
I appreciate that.
and I know all the other vloggers around Dumaguete could say the same, but yeah, last time we talked, I was here for about 4 years. Time has passed, and going on our 5th year here.
That's great. So can I ask how old you are?
Sure, I'm 19.
19?
19.
See, I would never have guessed that.
Really?
When we met, I figured you were 25, 26.
No kidding.
Yeah, you just carry yourself really well in your channel.
I appreciate that.
And I tell you, that's where I decided to move to BGC. Was part of it was watching your channel and watching all those videos of you like touring the restaurants and things like that. So you were a big influence on me as far as moving here.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I remember when we first met, I was just walking down Burgos, right? And you were at which bar was that?
I was at the Reserve.
Yeah, the Reserve. Yeah, near the tavern.
Having a bucket of beer.
Yeah, a bucket of beer. You were waiting on a friend, and then I walked past, and you're like, "Hey, come over here." You're like, "Oh, you see my channel?" And I was like, "Oh, so you're probably one of the first guys who's watched the channel who I met in person in BGC."
Oh wow! Yeah.
So yeah.
So do you get stopped a lot? Do people recognize you?
Yeah, here and there I do, but I think more often than not, it's I see somebody who's like, I think he recognizes me, but he doesn't say anything, and then I go onto my channel a couple of minutes later, and he's like, "Oh, I saw you in BGC." It's like,
I get that a lot. I get a lot of the hey, Lonely Bull.
Yeah, awesome.
So it's kind of neat. Kind of neat to be recognized that way.
Excuse me, Americano just came. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah. So give me a little background. Where are you from? And you say you moved out here 5 years ago, so you were just 14, right?
Yeah, I was about 14. Yeah, so
I can't remember the last time I was 14. It was a long time ago.
Well,
I'm a little older than you.
A little bit. You're still very youthful. So
I have that youthful attitude.
Yeah, going to Thailand in a bit. So yeah. Well, as far as where it all started, I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, my whole life. Moved around to a lot of different areas. I was in the suburbs for the most part of my life, 20 minutes outside of downtown Chicago, and growing up in the States, I loved it. You know, every part of me, and I don't know life outside of the States. Yeah. So what a lot of people would say is, Evan, you're a coconut. You know, you're brown on the outside but white on the inside.
All right.
You know, so grew up there. Even my parents grew up in the States as well. So as far as like life in the Philippines, I had no concept or clue of what it's like here, other than the food.
So what is your background as far as your connection to the Philippines?
Well, I am full Filipino.
You're full? Okay.
I'm full
so
Filipino.
Both your parents are Filipino. Okay.
Yeah, both my parents are Filipino. And it's an interesting case because although both my parents are Filipino, they're also born and raised in the U.S. And so, like, as far as, like, being immersed in Filipino culture, I didn't grow up with that just because, you don't really need that in the U.S. Right. You don't need to touch on that very much. So once the time came and we saw that the States just wasn't really for us anymore. We wanted to experience life outside of it in Southeast Asia. Like, let's go back to where our parents consider home, which is the Philippines.
Oh, that's awesome. So what was the factor in moving? Did your parents have the job here lined up, or are they retired, or how did that work out?
So my dad, he's retired. My mother, she is running her online accounting business remotely, and one of the main reasons we wanted to leave the U.S. was just because, Chicago, like, although we were in a safe part, crime rates were rapidly rising.
And that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago, even. It's even worse now. Yeah. Cost of living has gone up, crime rates, like I mentioned, and then political division. Like, you just can't even, you can't even have a simple conversation without feeling like you're walking on eggshells sometimes. Right. So that was very common there.
You can avoid all that here. That's what's nice.
Exactly. It's very peaceful.
So why did you and your parents decide on BGC?
So initially we were hopping around and we didn't know about BGC when we moved here to the Philippines. So we started in Makati. We visited Malate, Mandaluyong, Ortigas, Subic. We had a bad experience in Subic where we got robbed, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
All of our Apple devices, phones, watches, laptops, iPads, all gone. So that was a bad experience.
Was it a break-in or?
It was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was, like in the middle of the night.
Wow.
But that didn't taint our perception of the Philippines. We still wanted to see what it was like, and so we
could just as easily been in Chicago.
Oh yeah, I mean all the more so in Chicago.
Yeah.
But then we came here to BGC and we're like, oh, this is our place. We love it here. Yeah. Very safe, convenient, and I'd say westernized as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I didn't know anything about BGC, and I've been traveling to the Philippines since 2015, two times a year. I had a girlfriend at the time that lived in Leyte, but I had no idea that this bubble even existed until I saw your videos.
No kidding.
When I was, and it's an old video, but when I moved here it was for a job, and I was doing research into the Asian markets, and I was just doing a lot of Google research and YouTube research, and your video popped up, and started watching these. It's like, wow, this looks like the place
Fantastic.
to be. So yeah, you were a big influence on where I decided to move. So, so you moved here about 5 years ago. Tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel. We'll put the link below. But how long have you been doing this?
Absolutely. So I started the Savvy Expat. I think we're going on 3 years now.
Okay.
3 years ago now. And it originally started off as a vlog channel. And this is really interesting that I'm getting interviewed here, honestly, because I'm always the one doing the interviews.
Right.
So like this is, I very rarely share the story, but it started off as a vlog channel called Evan Laresca. And it was just for me to document my experience as a Filipino-American coming here to the Philippines and sharing, what life is like here. And just naturally an expat crowd was gravitated towards my channel, just because, I'm coming from an American perspective in the Philippines, right? And once one of my videos really popped off, which was top 3 places to retire in the Philippines, you can imagine like a 16-year-old talking about where to retire in the Philippines.
Right, yeah.
You get a lot of flack for that, but a lot of people got some value out of it. Once I saw that pop off, I was like, okay, I'm changing the channel name from Evan Laresca to the Savvy Expat, and thus the channel was born.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
So let me ask a little bit about the monetization process. How long did it take you? And I know things were probably different back then than they are now as far as YouTube monetizing your channel, but how long did it take you to get your 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours?
How long did that take? It took me, I think, 2 to 3 months.
Okay, yeah,
2 to
that's
3
about
months.
how long it took me too. So
Yeah,
I was surprised. I hear all these horror stories. Oh, it'll be over a year, and you'll never make money. And I still don't make money, but at least I'm monetized. So.
Exactly.
But I enjoy, I enjoy it. I did it for just sharing my experiences with my family and friends back in the States, and I do these videos, and then I put them on YouTube and share the link with all my friends. And then when I retired last January, I thought, why don't I do this for a job? Because I was bored.
And post it public.
Yeah, so I started doing that. So that's how the Lonely Bull in Asia got started.
Fantastic.
But this is about you. So so I know you, when you first started, your channel's kind of changed. It's kind of emerged into something a little bigger.
Yeah.
Because when I first started watching you, you were doing videos at restaurants, your favorite place to get a cheeseburger or a chicken sandwich, or No-No's is where my family always went on Sundays.
That brings back a lot of memories,
it was, and then I think you did a Christmas video with all the lights down on High Street and that.
Yeah.
So that really got me hooked on BGC, but that's kind of evolved. Your channel's evolved now. So tell me a little bit about what that is like.
So yeah, like you said, it was initially more so personalized to me and my lifestyle, but the channel's more so evolved into a lot of interviews. So which we're gonna do, again, part 2. A lot of interviews and mostly informative content. So this past month I've done majority interviews, but now that 2024 has started, I'm getting back into the very informative content. We talk a lot about cost of living, retirement. We do real estate tours now. Visas, healthcare, all the dire questions that an expat wants answered to have a successful settlement in the Philippines is what our channel covers.
That's awesome. Yeah. So give a plug for your channel. I'll put the link below, but go ahead and plug it.
The Savvy Expat, that's my channel.
Now, is it Savvy or The Savvy?
The Savvy.
The Savvy.
The Savvy Expat.
Right, very good. So when your parents told you you were moving to the Philippines, what was your initial reaction?
Why? Why the Philippines? Yeah, because you
were probably in junior high.
Yeah.
Had friends.
Oh yeah, my whole life was built in the States, and like they say, it's the white picket fence type of lifestyle. And what a lot of people would consider the American dream is what we were living. And so when I thought about it, I'm like, I hear stories of people wanting to move into the U.S., wanting to leave their country, especially the Philippines, for the U.S. Why are we doing the opposite? Why are we going back to the Philippines? You know? And so when I heard my parents tell me, oh, we're going to go to the Philippines, I couldn't help but question, is it sensible? What does the Philippines have to offer? And little did I know that it had a lot to offer.
Yeah.
So,
but you didn't think about that at the time.
Not at all.
How quick was that process when they sat down and told you, Evan, Are you an only child?
No, I have siblings.
You have siblings
Yeah.
also? Okay. So when they sat you all down at the dinner table or the living room or whatever and said, "Kids, we're moving to the Philippines," what was that? What was that conversation like?
No, it was honestly, I questioned it a lot. So yeah, I told my friends, and I couldn't help but Google and what's in the Philippines. I
Sure.
saw Rockwell. That was the first place to come up, and Rockwell's a very glamorous
Oh,
looking
nice.
city.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, it doesn't look as bad as I thought. So I'm like, guys, I go to my school and I'm like, guys, I'm moving to the Philippines. This is what it looks like there. And they're like, you're moving to a third world country? Why would you be doing that? And so, the typical, I wouldn't say it's typical, but by most American perception, no place is going to be as nice as the U.S.
Right. Yeah.
There, everybody has their own taste.
Well, I've got friends in LA and New York that think I'm from Nebraska, middle of the country, and they think, oh, you live in a cornfield or in a teepee.
Yeah, no, that's
it's like, and they're from the U.S. And they still think, oh, you have internet there? Yes, we have internet there. Come on. So I can imagine what your friends were thinking too. So when you first moved to Makati, is that right? You said?
Yeah, we were staying in Makati for like.
Where are your parents from originally, or where are their parents from?
My grandparents. So they're originally from Lucena in Quezon. So yeah, Quezon province.
Okay.
And my parents were born and raised in Chicago as well. So like roots were really planted there.
Yeah. So have you ever been back to your grandparents?
Yeah, I have been.
Are they alive?
They are still alive.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so they split time between California and Quezon. Yeah, okay. So we went back to my grandparents' province. It's a small town, and we just kind of give back here and there. And yeah, it's nice to visit.
That's awesome. So, all right. So, when you first got here, what was your impression when you landed in that beautiful airport we all know and love so well?
Yeah. And went through customs. Well, it wasn't glamorous. It wasn't a glamorous experience at all. So O'Hare, I like that airport. It's a nice.
Yeah,
airport.
O'Hare's nice.
Yeah,
it's very organized.
It is
compared to here.
Yeah, compared to the Kino International Airport.
Yeah.
So when I first arrived in the Manila airport, I was just like, "Ooh, this is different." It's not what I was used to back in the States. We booked a Grab to Makati, and I gotta admit, my first 2 years in the Philippines, I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't like the life here because it was. I don't even know if it was because of the Philippines, but it was more so the fact that I had to adjust outside of life in the States.
Right.
So any country I could have moved to, I probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah. So there was some culture shock, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was.
How was it as far as making friends? And so did you go to private international school or did you go?
No, it was online.
Oh, you went online.
So yeah, because once we arrived in the Philippines, maybe 5 to 6 months in, that's when the pandemic hit. And so we were forced to, do online schooling.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the first 5-6 months, I had a very hard time making friends here, just because there was always it's weird because I'm Filipino, but there was still a cultural gap there.
Sure.
And so that forced me to adapt more to my culture, Filipino culture, and learn the language from scratch. Didn't know a lick of Tagalog when I hopped off that plane.
Yeah. And
kind of get immersed into my culture. So it was difficult.
So you took the time to learn Tagalog.
I did.
That's good.
I would even sit down with my mom in the living room and watch the Coney teleseries.
Mm-hmm.
Watch those YouTube channel with the laugh track.
Oh my God, that drives me crazy. Exactly.
So you understand.
So what would your advice be to families that are planning to do something similar to you, move over here to Manila or the Philippines, that have kids that are young?
I think the most important thing to have a successful move here is to find a community. So like for me, my community was brought about because of my channel, and I have a group of expats that I love and enjoy hanging out with around BGC. But for a family, I mean, you could go into Facebook groups and find families that are in BGC or wherever you're staying.
Yeah.
You could go to, I'm sure international schools have some sort of communities or extracurricular activities for the kids. So that's what I'd recommend, is finding a community.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about as far as that conversation the parents will have with the children, as far as we're packing everything up. You're gonna lose your nice house in the suburbs. You won't have your friends here anymore. What kind of conversation? How would you approach that?
I think I would approach it just teasing the idea first and seeing, how the kids would like it. This is, and showing them what the Philippines has to offer. Because when my parents told me we're going to the Philippines, I thought what every other American thought was, okay, it's just like a bunch of nipa huts, and we're gonna be living on the beach, and there's nothing, no internet around us.
Be a squatter.
Yeah, a squatter basically. Like I don't know what the Philippines has to offer, but I think there's so many, and you see it. There's so many vlogging channels coming into BGC, coming into Manila, and they're showing like what these cities have to offer. And you have the classic thumbnail. Is this really the Philippines?
Yeah.
First impression of the Philippines.
Exactly.
And it shows like this is not what most people perceive the Philippines as.
Right.
So when you show like your children if they're watching, that BGC is very similar to the States or whatever Western country, and you're not going to have to just jump into, like, you're not going to be a fish out of water. It's still going to be a similar experience.
Exactly.
I think they'll be a lot more open to it.
Yeah. Now there are places in the Philippines that aren't like this. This
100%.
is a bubble.
I've
said that many times. You've said it many times. This is really a bubble. It's very westernized. BGC is Makati. I like Makati a lot, but I chose, when I got my second condo, I chose to stay in BGC. It's just so convenient. You can walk anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't need to drive. You don't need a car or a bike or anything you don't want.
Not at all.
But there are areas, even in Manila, that aren't nice areas, that are a lot of poverty. But there are a lot of great areas, great pockets, communities in Manila. Makati, we talked about that. There's Mandaluyong has some really nice areas. Pasig has some nice areas. Quezon City has some nice areas. So you just have to look, and don't listen to all the people that say, "Oh, Manila is a crap city," because they've probably only been outside the airport.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They don't look at the whole, Manila as a whole.
Yeah,
it's a huge city, metro. Manila.
There's so many parts to it.
So many parts.
I mean, you have Alabang, that's a very nice area.
Nice.
You have Ortigas, very nice as well. Eastwood's
great. Yeah.
So there's so many different areas in Manila, and I think a lot of the time it can be very generalized into just one big squatter area, high congestion, and chaotic traffic.
Yeah.
Yes, that is. Let's not deny it is a majority of Manila.
Right.
But then you have a lot of pockets of cities that aren't that.
Okay, so we're going to do some rapid questioning.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for some personal stuff?
I'm ready.
So how long did it take you to get friends, and how close are you with your friends now?
It took me about 2 years to develop a solid friend group, and very close. Very, very close.
Good deal. How about relationships, dating? You do that?
Dating.
So I told you to get personal.
Yeah, it is good personal. I enjoy it. So I have
just real quick. I do have. I looked at my demographics, and I have about 6 or 8% that are between 18 and 24.
No kidding.
And 20 to 25% of my audience is female. So there you go.
25%. Okay. So I really want to disclose. It's right now it's a blurry line.
Okay.
You know how it could be like that sometimes.
I got you.
But I have an ex-girlfriend here. A few situationships where it was more so like, I'm busy with work, let's talk, but I can't really prioritize anybody or anything else right now.
Yeah. Well, you're a young entrepreneur, so yeah, business first. So
business first.
Okay, so I'll leave it at that. What about the food?
The food.
Tell me about the Filipino food. What do you think of it?
I mean, like I mentioned, that was the only extent of culture I grew up with in the States, so I was used to it by the time I came into the Philippines.
So your parents cooked Filipino food?
Yeah, my parents did. My grandparents did.
What's your favorite dish?
I like lechon. I like sisig, the manam sisig.
I do too.
Yeah. Pancit, exactly. The lumpia. Exactly. So we can agree on the same food.
Absolutely. Okay. So do you spend more time eating Filipino food here, or Western food, or Asian food? I know there's a few Italian restaurants. In BGC.
I mix it up. I mix it up a lot, just because when I meet with expats that move here to the Philippines, like, they all have different tastes. Typically, I think the manam, because it's like,
manam's great.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that kind of,
Yeah, I get the Malaysia food, the laksa.
Oh, the laksa.
Oh, it's very good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so many different pizza joints around BGC.
Mhm.
Very few that I really like, but there's like two that I really enjoy, which is Wildflower Italian
Mhm.
and what is the other one called? Amici's not bad also.
Okay.
Amici's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Have you ever gone to Glorietta Mall in Makati
yeah.
and eaten at S&R Pizza there?
Oh yeah, I've had S&R pizza.
Yeah, that's great. That's as close to Western American pizza
Yeah.
as you'll get.
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm curious. In Nebraska, did you guys have like good pizza joints there?
Oh yeah, we have in Nebraska. We've got some local. In Lincoln, we've got a place called Valentino's Pizza, really good.
Valentino's.
Godfather's Pizza started in Nebraska.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh, there's several. But yeah, I mean,
So
it's not Chicago style. It's not the deep dish.
Oh, I still have yet to find Chicago style here.
No, I don't think you can.
And I don't think I ever will. So
No, yeah, mostly New York style here.
exactly. Yeah.
So okay, so give me your advice as far as your favorite restaurants here in BGC. So for people that are planning on coming here to visit BGC, where should they go to eat?
So
medium price range.
Medium price range. So
not Wolfgang's.
Not Wolfgang. No, yeah, that's very that's special occasion. But I like St. Louis. So here in High Street, St. Louis. If you want ramen, Mendokoro, you can't go wrong with. You can't go wrong with Apudo.
And they just reopened. They were closed for almost a year, I think.
Almost a year. They reopened in the new Japanese Mitsukoshi Mall.
Oh, they've got a location there too.
They're there
one
now.
down on High Street as well.
They have another one on High Street too.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
They closed that one down and then they remodeled and opened it back up. It's right across from. I can't remember.
Oh, are you referring to St. Louis?
St. Louis.
Oh, yes.
Is that what you said?
I'm talking about St. Louis is reopened as well, and then also reopened was Mendokoro, the ramen shop.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that one is right across from Kiwami, which is a Japanese food hall.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like Japanese, that's good. But if you're into Italian, you can go with Wildflower Italian at the Finance Center, and then also Amici, which is options are great, which is just across from us here in Juan Bonifacio.
Or if you want the standard franchise Italianis.
Italianis, yeah.
You've got a Boca di Pepa down across from Market.
Have you tried that?
Not here. I've done it in the States before.
Yeah.
It's mostly family meals. I mean, they give you big portions. It's a little high end. You can find some meals for under 400, but not very many there. So.
No. Yeah, Boca di Pepa, I haven't tried it here.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah. But other than that, a lot of people like Shake Shack here, so that went
that's your favorite one. Is it the burger or the chicken sandwich?
The burger here. If you want chicken sandwich, go to Foul Bread just down High Street.
Foul Bread.
Love that place. And then you also have. There's so many options. Like we could ramble on and on.
I know, right?
The food.
The nice thing about BGC, it's a small. I don't know how many hectares is it. It's
not a lot.
Not a lot. It's in a small area, but it's so concentrated with restaurants and bars and all kinds of restaurants. I mean, they just opened up 2 Korean restaurants down on High Street.
Yeah, they did.
So you got everything you could want. Every style of food you can want is here.
100%.
Within walking distance. And then you got, 6, 7 malls?
Yeah, many malls. You got Samora, Bonifacio High Street Mall, Central Square Mall, Uptown Mall, Market. It's everywhere.
The new Japanese mall.
Oh, Mitsukoshi. Yeah.
So it's just so many different options. So
I'd say I have a harder time finding like Filipino food places in BGC than I do Western places.
Yeah.
So
there's some really good, and High Street South, there's some really good new restaurants, a couple of Thai restaurants.
They got the Thai restaurants there. They opened up a Olive Garden there.
Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse,
Denny's. And then they have like the higher end places there. I forgot the name of it, but I think it's Sala or something like that.
Right, yeah, just right next to Olive Garden.
Yeah, like European restaurants there.
And then they got a little chocolate cafe around the corner from Denny's.
Yes. It's Oro Chocolate.
Yeah.
So you guys can tell we're BGC locals.
That's right, we are.
Every place here.
All right, let's end this with tell us a little bit about, first of all, what do you miss about the U.S.?
Oh, deep dish pizza. Chicago deep dish pizza. Like that's the immediate thing that comes into mind. And I don't know if my cousins and my family get offended back in the States because I always immediately I miss them, but I miss deep dish pizza so much. I miss deep dish pizza. I miss the Italian beefs from Portillo's and Al's Italian beef there. I miss Italian ice. So basically food.
So what suburb were you guys living in?
We moved up around a lot. So we were in Hinsdale for a bit. Okay. We were in Burridge. We were in Oak Brook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That's a nice area.
yeah,
Nice
that's
mall
a
there.
nice area there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we moved around a lot, but yeah, it was never like one place for too long.
So the deep dish is what you miss.
I miss the
More
deep
than
dish,
anything.
and I miss
See,
also.
when your channel gets so big and you have all this extra money, you can open up a business.
Yeah.
Get a deep dish.
I'll open
that'd
up
be
a
huge.
deep dish in the heart of BGC.
Do it. Do it.
I think
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'll be doing a service for all the expats here from the States.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that out of the way. So tell me your plans for 2024 as far as personal and your channel plans.
So as far as my plans for 2024, I do want to expand a little bit outside of BGC. So maybe visit Siargao and typical places like Boracay, Palawan, Baguio, and expand a little bit outside. I know the Dumaguete vlogging scene has been very capitalized on. A lot of people already vlog about that place.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just pass over that.
Yeah, it'll pass. Actually, I'm gonna talk about that later. It's like what your experience was in Dumaguete. But yeah, just go around, experience what all the other places around Philippines has to offer, and really go in depth with it. Because I think with BGC, I extrapolated as much details and information as I could possibly can for the past 2-3 years now. But I want to move that over to like where else the Philippines has to offer. And I did purposely and intentionally keep the Savvy Expat name broad. It was never the Philippine Expat or Philippine whatever.
Yeah.
I kept it the Savvy Expat because I also want to visit other Southeast Asian countries.
That's kind of why I did the Lonely Bull in Asia,
Oh,
the Lonely
good.
Bull in Manila or whatever. So.
Exactly. Yeah, smart.
So, all right, perfect, awesome. So, Evan, it's been a pleasure again to see you and talk to you again.
JJ,
and
appreciate it.
Good luck to your channel in 2024. Again, it's the Savvy Expat, and I'll put the link in the description below. And
Appreciate it.
so you have a great 2024, man.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, take care.